Hi, this is Emily Leiphart of Art from the Heart, and I'm back with my final card for my Favorite Things Wednesday Sketch Challenge. This is the 4th sketch challenge of the month, and I'll be using 4 more of the new release products on my card. The sentiment and sentiment die for my card will come from the new Kind Words stamp set and complimentary Kind and Kindness Die-namics. For the white base, I've die cut 2 panels from Blueprints 29. I'm going to create a shaped card base with the stitched scallop die from that set. The dark gray rectangular panel was die cut from the stitched rectangle stacks, and the pink flag is from the newest stitched Sentiments Die-namics. For the largest flag that sits behind the rectangular panel, I'll be using the Posh Kitty from the Cool Cat stamp set. Her shape is similar to the fork of the flag. I'm also going to use the Wavy coloring book background on the stitched rectangle. The first thing I do is stamp and heat emboss the stitched rectangle for watercoloring so it can dry while I work on other elements of the card. I've die cut the panel from watercolor cardstock, and I'm preparing it with the magic embossing bag to prevent stray specks of powder. There are a lot of lines and swirls on this stamp, so I want the pattern to be as crisp and clear as possible. Since the stamp is big, the easiest way to use it is to lay it flat with the stamp surface facing up. I use Versamark ink on it and press the panel face down on the stamp. Then I cover it with a scrap piece of paper and press down to make sure there's an even coverage. I sprinkle clear embossing powder and set it with my heat tool. It's hard to see since it's clear on clear, but the pattern will reveal itself nicely once I add color to it. I choose my distress ink colors and blot them on the craft sheet. For a pattern such as this, the colors won't move very much since there are so many embossed lines or walls to keep the color and movement confined. I'm going to spread out the 4 colors across the card as evenly as possible so there's a relatively even amount of all colors. Here's what the panel looks like after it has dried. Next, I stamp the Posh Kitty and Sentiment from the Cool Cat stamp set. I had planned on using this as a secondary sentiment with the Kind Words stamp set, but I left it off the final version of the card. Now I'm coloring the kitty with Copic markers. I use neutral grays as well as some aqua and pink shades. After the cat has been colored, I bring in the watercolored panel to help choose the color for her pearl necklace. The cat will sit on the left edge of the card where there's no aqua, so I will choose that color for her necklace. Here's what all the pieces look like so far. I've die cut the word kind from silver glitter cardstock, and I'm pushing it out with a pair of tweezers. I've also die cut it from fun foam so I can create a dimensional word. I'm going to use my Xyron sticker maker for a quick and easy way to add adhesive to the back of the glittery die cut. I just make sure to press down really well on the backing so it picks up the adhesive residue. I find that with more intricate dies, it's difficult to get all the residue off, so I just use my tweezers to push the gummy residue to the back of the die cut. I use glossy accents to adhere the 2 layers of the dot together. It's so tiny that I can't get a grip on it, and it even flies off the table. Here I decide to get rid of the Thank You sentiment and just use the You Are So Kind sentiment from Kind Words. I'm going to mask off the stamped word kind, since I'll be using the Kind die cut. Now I'm going to assemble the card. To prepare the card base, I'm going to score the back panel so the card can open and also stand nicely. I scored at least ½ an inch from the edge to leave room for score tape. I scored on both sides of the panel, and I always use score tape to adhere the 2 parts of a shaped card together because it's the strongest and I need the 2 pieces to stay together. I remove the backing, attach the front of the card base, and stamp my blog information on the back. I decide that I want to modify the length of the tag, so I use removable tape to position it behind the same die and cut it to a shorter version of itself. The little version is so cute, and the stitched lines on the right end of the tag line up perfectly with the stitched lines on the watercolored panel. Now I apply foam tape to the back of the panel and adhere it to the card, using a ruler to make sure it's straight. Once I've determined final placement of the other elements, I use mini glue dots to adhere the sentiment flag and glossy accents for the die cut word. Since I want the exact spacing as in the original die cut, I create a template out of vellum so I can see where I'm placing the die cut on the card, as well as know where to adhere each of the 3 parts of the die, the capital K, the IND, and the dot for the I. I adhere the word with glossy accents into the positive space of the template. To remove the template, I press down on the die cut to ensure it doesn't move while the glue dries, and tear away the vellum surrounding the die cut. This takes a bit of finagling, but it's a great way to maintain the integrity of the original design of the word die. The kitty sits just off the edge of the panel, so half of it will require foam tape and the other half will require glue dots. I had previously forgotten to color in the nose, so I will do that with a pink Copic marker, and decide to add rosy cheeks as well. Now my card is done. Thanks so much for joining me at the Wednesday Sketch Challenge this week. Please refer to the supply links below if you're interested in any of the products I used in this video. You can also visit my blog for stills and more information about my card. Thanks so much for watching!